People are saying Jin is upset, and we need to get into that. We also have people saying that Apple Music might have removed I'll Be There from the charts and what's going on with that. And then we have a clip that has gotten some mixed reactions. So dumplings, it's safe to decide. Let's get into it. There is this clip that has gotten some mixed reactions, even though I personally believe that there should not have been any mixed reactions. And this is a clip of J-Hope dancing to Rosé's song APT. And if you haven't heard of APT, then definitely make sure you check it out. I also have reacted to it on my Patreon, so if you do want to check that out alongside a lot of other videos, then make sure you go over there and check it out. I'll leave a link at the top of the description. But it seems like J-Hope was recently at a concert, and people were recording him because a lot of people often see if there's other celebrities that go to concerts. And I think nowadays people are kind of looking around to see if there's any famous people at the venue. And people very quickly noticed, of course, J-Hope was there, and they noticed that he was dancing along to the very specific song APT. This is not a shocker to me at all because the song has really picked up steam on social media. Everyone is singing it, everyone is using it in their TikTok videos or whatever, and a widely recognizable song now. This, of course, gotten both positive and negative reactions. The positive reaction is, of course, that people think it's cute, it's fun, whatever. And of course, the negative reaction goes into the fact that they don't like that a BTS member is showing support to Blackpink because the two groups' fandoms are rivaling each other. The rivalry is simply just fan-made. It has never been something that the two groups have actively talked about or shown themselves. People just don't like it when the BTS members acknowledge Blackpink at all, and this is a very difficult thing to have any person do, whether a celebrity or not. It's one thing to maybe not even be friends with any particular celebrity because that can be easy to do. You just don't call them up, you just don't talk to them, and then you're not friends. What's a lot more difficult is if both celebrities are big celebrities that have their songs constantly played on the radio, played in stores, and played on social media, and you can't avoid listening to it. It's also so extremely difficult to avoid listening to a song that was made to be catchy, and not only was made as a catchy song, but like psychologically analyzed to be the catchiest song ever. Because if you're not aware, a lot of these songs are not created for the sole purpose of it being the most artistic song ever, but it's created with the sole purpose of being the catchiest. There's a lot of music theory, there's a lot of psychology involved with these songs in an attempt to make it the catchiest thing you've ever heard. This is not a bad thing, by the way. I think it's absolutely genius, and there's an art in doing that. But of course, this means any person who goes anywhere and hears the song, they're going to be immediately encapsulated by the song and be drawn in because that was the sole purpose of it. And the celebrities that we love, like the BTS members, are also human, so they're going to be affected by the same thing we're affected by. We also have an article that has been picking up a little bit of steam that I think is very interesting. This was an interview that Jin did recently to promote his song or his overall comeback that he is doing, which, by the way, I'm definitely going to be reacting to Jin's new song, and it'll be on Patreon as well. So if you're interested in APT or I'll Be There, then make sure you check it out in the link in the description. But one thing that an interviewer asked Jin, what is something that he would say to his younger self? I've never really been sure what the purpose of that type of question is, but I assume people can extrapolate from that, like what a celebrity is going to tell their younger self, that it's also going to be a message for anyone that is younger than him or is a few steps behind him, and they might appreciate this message. One thing he says, which I think a lot of people can relate to, is this idea that when he was younger, he often complained about work. He specifically mentioned that he wishes to tell his younger self that having this mindset of complaining about work is actually not helpful at all. I think this is something that a lot of younger people kind of feel, because when you're young, your colleagues, your friends, the people around you are pretty much having the time of their life. They're not settled down yet, they're not tied anywhere. They're probably going on road trips, vacations, and all that sort of stuff, and you're looking at yourself and you're like, oh wow, I'm just working all the time. I don't believe that this actually gets a lot easier because the person who may be working in their 20s, they might have the opportunity to work less in their 40s or 50s or even 30s. However, that's when a lot of other people are starting to settle down and focus on their career. So you're just starting to slow down while everyone else is starting to ramp up, meaning you won't really have time to be with your friends either way. However, these are the things that you pay the price of if you want to be successful. Working while you're young and pursuing your dreams while you're young is the best way to do it, because as you get older, it's not that it's impossible, but it gets harder and harder if you have a family and all these other things that you're trying to pursue for yourself, because now you're no longer living for just yourself. One thing that I also want to stress to anybody listening is that working really hard is very important, but in order to achieve your dream, you have to work really hard, really consistently, and for a really long time in the correct way. So if you're doing something for a year or two and nothing's working, then you have to pivot and try to achieve that goal in a different way. Because I've seen a lot of people do this where they're like, I've been making music for 10 years and nothing's taken off. Well, if nothing's taken off, then maybe the specific type of music that you're making just isn't connecting. And it might be worth looking into trying to change some of that. I think it was very cool for Jin to admit that he would often complain about work, because I think from the outside, people definitely felt like he was very happy or maybe not so upset about the amount of work that he had to do. I think as he's gotten older, he's also realized that it's a blessing to do this type of specific work, even if it's overwhelming and it's a lot. It's the type of work that not everyone gets to do, or not everyone even gets a chance to do. One thing that you can do when you work really hard and then you get older and you start slowing down a little bit is to be able to look back and appreciate all the work that you've done, because it's gotten you to where you are now. And perhaps it's the reason why you can finally slow down a little bit. There's always a lot of controversy online, and it was interesting to see the conversation about this. It wasn't super controversial, but there was definitely a conversation about it, as people were very intrigued to hear what he had to say about this. If you're unaware, Jin recently put out a song, I'll Be There, which has been another point of conversation. The song is very exciting because it goes hand in hand with more music that we get to see from Jin that he didn't put out before he enlisted. So of course, everyone took the opportunity to make sure that they streamed and that they really put a lot of effort into making sure that the song was as big as possible. Well, there's been some controversy with this, as people felt like Apple Music has purposely tried to suppress I'll Be There on the charts. So if you're not aware of how pre-orders and that sort of stuff works, let's talk about it. So pre-orders work a little bit differently than if you were to order a song while it's already out. So when you order a song when it's out, it will rank in the charts in real time. So as people are buying it, it starts to hit the position in which it's supposed to. But if an artist does a pre-order, sometimes weeks before the actual release, all the pre-orders actually come together on the first day that the song gets released. So for example, if you in a span of a month get 100,000 pre-orders for a single, when the song gets published on the day that it comes out, all 100,000 of those orders will hit for that day. It will be the same as if 100,000 people purchased it on that day. So some people were saying that since the pre-orders of I'll Be There was pretty high, or they believed it was pretty high, they were very surprised to see that the song actually ranked a little bit lower on the day it came out. So apparently people believed that during the pre-order process, the song was at 10 or something like that, and then I think it dropped to 100 or something when the song was officially released. There is actually a couple of theories as to why this could happen, with one of them being that a lot of other songs that were already released were getting more sales that day, and it just so happened to bump Jin's song down. What people don't consider is when a song is in pre-order, it likely is shown with other songs that aren't released yet. Like if it's ranked on a chart, but when it gets released, it's now competing with other songs that are already released. So these could be a different ranking system. So there's a lot of reasons as to why a song might be bumped down or it might appear like something happened. But people want to jump to the conclusion that Apple Music was deleting the pre-orders, and it's interesting because the community often likes to jump to companies mistreating the BTS members or hurting the BTS members. And it's very interesting to automatically just jump to that as opposed to thinking what could actually be happening. But of course the alternative is not a mistake. It's just what the situation actually is, and a lot more boring, and people don't actually want to believe that. So they want to make up a reason, and of course people want to be upset, which I find to be the most interesting. Because I personally don't like to be upset. I would much rather be ignorant and happy than know something and then be upset. Be actively searching to find something to be upset about. Let me know what you think. Make sure to check out Patreon for more videos. Link down below. Thanks. Just leave a comment right here. Love you. Bye.